तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्।
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गणनाथा
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवा
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 अक्षयलिंगा आत्मलिंगा
अक्षयलिंगा आत्मलिंगा
अक्षयलिंगा आत्मलिंगा
अक्षयलिंगा आत्मलिंगा
तेजोमय विग्रहलिंगा
तेजोमय विग्रहलिंगा
तेजोमय विग्रहलिंगा
तेजोमय विग्रहलिंगा
इह वर सुखदायका ईशा इह पर सुखदायका
इह पर सुखदायका ईशा इह पर सुखदायका
इह पर सुखदायका साई इह पर सुखदायका
इह पर सुखदायका साई इह पर सुखदायका
अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवा
अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवा
अक्षयलिंगा आत्मलिंगा
अक्षयलिंगा आत्मलिंगा
तेजोमय विग्रहलिंगा
तेजोमय विग्रहलिंगा
इह पर सुखदायका ईशा इह पर सुखदायका
इह पर सुखदायका ईशा इह पर सुखदायका
इह पर सुखदायका साई इह पर सुखदायका
इह पर सुखदायका साई इह पर सुखदायका
ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
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 अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवा।
सुन्दरपादं सायिपादं
सुन्दरपादं सायिपादं
सुन्दरपादं सायिपादं
सुन्दरपादं सायिपादं
पङ्कजचरणं पापविमोचनं
पङ्कजचरणं पापविमोचनं
पङ्कजचरणं पापविमोचनं
पङ्कजचरणं पापविमोचनं
सुन्दरपादं सायिपादं
सुन्दरपादं सायिपादं
नटराजनटनं सायिपादं
नटराजनटनं सायिपादं
नटराजनटनं सायिपादं
नटराजनटनं सायिपादं
श्रीकृष्णनर्तनं सायिपादं
श्रीकृष्णनर्तनं सायिपादं
श्रीकृष्णनर्तनं सायिपादं
श्रीकृष्णनर्तनं सायिपादं
भवदुःखहरणं सायिपादं
भवदुःखहरणं सायिपादं
भवदुःखहरणं सायिपादं
भवदुःखहरणं सायिपादं
जगदोद्धारणं सायिपादं
जगदोद्धारणं सायिपादं
जगदोद्धारणं सायिपादं
जगदोद्धारणं सायिपादं
सुन्दरपादं सायिपादं
सुन्दरपादं सायिपादं
पङ्कजचरणं पापविमोचनं
पङ्कजचरणं पापविमोचनं
सुन्दरपादं सायिपादं
सुन्दरपादं सायिपादं
नटराजनटनं सायिपादं
नटराजनटनं सायिपादं
श्रीकृष्णनर्तनं सायिपादं
श्रीकृष्णनर्तनं सायिपादं
भवदुःखहरणं सायिपादं
भवदुःखहरणं सायिपादं
जगदोद्धारणं सायिपादं
जगदोद्धारणं सायिपादं
जगदोद्धारणं सायिपादं
जगदोद्धारणं सायिपादं
सुन्दरपादं सायिपादं
श्रीनिवास वेङ्कटेश श्रीनिवास वेङ्कटेश श्रीनिवास
గోవింద 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 గోవింద
वनमाली राधा रमणा गिरिधारी गोविंदा वनमाली राधा रमणा गिरिधारी गोविंदा नीलमेघ सुंदरा नारायण गोविंदा नीलमेघ सुंदरा नारायण गोविंदा वनमाली राधा रमणा गिरिधारी गोविंदा भक्त हृदय मंदारा भानुकोटि सुंदरा भक्त हृदय मंदारा भानुकोटि सुंदरा नंद नंद गोप वृंद नारायण गोविंदा नंदानंद गोप वृंद नारायण गोविंदा वनमाली राधा रमणा गिरिधारी गोविंदा नीलमेघ सुंदरा नारायण गोविंदा वनमाली राधा रमणा गिरिधारी गोविंदा भक्त हृदय मंदारा भानुकोटि सुंदरा नंद नंद गोप वृंद नारायण गोविंदा नंदानंद गोप वृंद नारायण गोविंदा 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 नारायण 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 गोविंदा नारायण 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 गोविंदा नारायण गोविंदा नारायण गोविंदा हरि हरि नारायण गोविंदा वनमाली राधा रमणा गिरिधारी गोविंदा
Om Shri Sai Ram. I went to Prashanthi Nilayam applying 5 days of leave from my office, and I went as I was going to Prashanthi Nilayam, I was doing my computer calculations. I thought, okay, 5 days, 10 darshans. It will be fantastic. As if I am going to grant darshan. And then as soon as I went to Parthi, I saw Parthi was filled with crazy amounts of crowd. And there was a special function going on. A senior administrator in the ashram, he spotted me in the crowd and he said, "Hey boy, you come here. Because of this function, we are setting up a special canteen for students in the second floor. So you are in charge of that canteen. Now go report to duty right away." I was very happy that I got an opportunity to do something. So I reported to work. The canteen has to serve breakfast, lunch, snacks and dinner for students. So we have to make sure that the food preparation is done fine, the food is transported, arranged properly, and the serving is done. After that, the cleaning is done and so on. So you have to report to work at 4:30 in the morning, and we can return back to the room only at 11 o'clock. And there is no escaping, there is no break from morning till evening. While I was happy on one side, my whole plan for darshan was squashed. It was 5 days of back-breaking work. As it was the 5th day, I started yearning for darshan. I started wondering, Swami, I came here for darshan, Swami. At least one darshan I should get, Swami. Did you make your gopikas also, desperate like this? Did you make them also yearn like this, Swami? Why will I not get one darshan? One darshan, Swami, all I want is that. And as I was crying and crying in the floor of the canteen, I remembered how much this gopika would have yearned to get that one darshan of Krishna. Why did you not come? What mistake did I do today, Krishna? Why did you not come and steal this butter? This butter was meant for you, Krishna. And she is yearning, and I started wondering she needs a bhajan. How will I make sure that Krishna, you come here and you steal this butter? Do I have to remember your job is stealing butter? Do I have to tell you that you are the stealer of the butter? I don't know, Krishna, how to call you into my life because I have not learned any of the scriptures. I don't know the Vedas or the Puranas or the Upanishads. But Krishna, I know one big secret about all of that. I know that your name is the essence of all the scriptures in the world. But I know your name. Gopal, 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 Govardhanadhara Gopal, 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 Govardhanadhara Gopal. Krishna, the other day when the rain poured, you came and lifted the Mount Govardhana. That is why I call you Govardhana Giridhari. Is this rain of tears not enough for you to come and grant darshan, Krishna? As like she would have yearned, standing in the second floor of the canteen, I was yearning for darshan. Suddenly I heard a commotion in the road in front of the canteen. All the devotees were running towards the end of the canteen building. I looked through the window. I saw Bhagavan's car had come. There was a building called Shanti Bhavan. That building was going to be inaugurated, and Bhagavan has come and he has gone inside that building. I was so happy and sad at the same time. I thought, Swami, you have come. But then, once the function is over, you are going to go inside the car and you are going to go away, Swami. You are not going to grant me darshan. I will not be able to get a very fulfilling darshan, Swami. I want to be able to see you clearly, Swami, without any obstruction. For a long time, I am getting greedier and greedier because Swami's car is already here, and I am praying and praying, waiting with tears in my eyes, and Swami steps out. And he is about to go inside the car. The back door of the car is open. He is about to go into the car, and here I am pleading from my heart, Swami, I want darshan, Swami, I want darshan. Gopal! When the heart cries, the Lord stops. As I am desperately calling, he stopped at the last minute and turned around. As he turned around, he did not stop. He started walking away from the car. As he started walking away from from the car towards the canteen building. All the devotees gave way. Now I could see Swami clearly, so beautifully. Anupama Sundara Nanda Kishora. I was able to absorb his darshan, and Swami did not stop there. He lifted his hand and gave Abhaya Hasta. I was so happy. Now I am all the more greedy. I am telling Swami, your Abhaya Hasta is going only to the first floor. I am standing in the second floor. Please, Swami. As soon as the thought came, Swami lifted his hand like this to the second floor and then sent it in the second floor.
चित चोरा यशोदा के बाल, नवनीत चोर गोपाल। गोपाल 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 गोवर्धन धर गोपाल। गोपाल 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 गोवर्धन धर गोपाल। गोपाल 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 गोवर्धन धर गोपाल। चित चोरा यशोदा के बाल, नवनीत चोर गोपाल। गोपाल 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 गोवर्धन धर गोपाल। गोपाल 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 गोवर्धन धर गोपाल। गोपाल 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 गोवर्धन धर गोपाल। चित चोरा यशोदा के बाल, नवनीत चोर गोपाल।
From Krishna, I will share the Shiva Shakti experience that Bhagavan granted to me when he revealed those two aspects back to back. The tough father, always guiding us and putting us in the right path, and the loving mother who always guards us and cares for us. When I was reading one book about Swami, I read about an experience, how Swami dealt with a group of young boys, and how, even though he gave so much personal attention to each and every one of them, he also specifically did certain things to make sure that the group does not get too attached to each other. So he would deliberately create division among those boys. He will tell the leader of the group, you tell that other fellow, don't do this. And this fellow has to now do it without any attachment to that other boy, and that boy will get all upset. Why didn't Swami tell me this directly? And Swami will never tell him. He was always creating this whole trouble within that group so that you don't get attached, yet serve the purpose of being in a group. As I was reading that, I was so excited. I was like, I want that. Swami, prayer. How nice it will be if you directly demonstrated this. And when you pray for such things, you cannot put a timeline, a deadline, and you cannot dictate how Swami is going to make that thing happen to you. Needless to say, a development of an attachment to a friend started happening to such a point that I realized that it is not healthy. So I started praying to Swami, Swami, this friendship is not healthy. Please break this friendship. Worldly friendship. Because I prayed for it, the way it unfolded was like such a powerful fashion. In front of 5,000, 6,000 people in Prashanti Nilayam, in public, Swami humiliated me and that boy. In a very, very public way. When the Lord demonstrates, he may be Kripa Samudram, but he is also Rudram. Sumukam, but Trinetram. He will burn, but for our own good. The Lord demonstrated that in a very, very powerful fashion. Instantly, we both separated. From me, that boy got separated because ultimately we need to stay focused on the Lord. Everything else is simply a distraction. We just have to focus on the Lord. Our family, our friends, everything we assemble, our big Facebook network, everything is going to go away. The Lord has to be the only focus, and the beauty, the compassion of the Lord was that because I prayed for it, He answered that. But unfortunately, the way it played out was so painful because it was not just that result, even the means in which it played, it was so hurtful. That evening, I cried so much. Big Sathya Sai water project was going on, so I went to in Prashanti Nilayam. I went up the hills behind the ashram. I sat on top of a rock and cried and cried and cried and cried. Thinking, Swami, I am supposed to go back to California, and here I don't want to leave you and go back on this note, Swami. It was so painful, I did not know what to do. Then I thought I will write a letter. I have never written letters to Swami. So I thought I will write a letter. I did not know what to write, but I thought I should convey that message through a song to Swami. A very old movie song in the language Tamil. A very, very beautiful song. Amudai poliyum nilave nee arugil varadadeno arugil varadadeno. You are in love. இதயம் மேவிய காதலினாலே ஏங்கிடும் மல்லியை பாராய் புதுமலர் வீணே வாடி விடாமல்
புன்னகை வீசி ஆறுதல் கூற அருகில் வராததேனோ, அருகில் வராததேனோ. புன்னகை வீசி ஆறுதல் கூற அருகில் வர. Why don't you come near me and console me? Cried and cried and cried. The next day I was sitting in darshan. My body is still shaking from the previous experience. As much as he shows the toughness, because I prayed, he gave that. It was not anything else. But the Lord also had to show that motherly nature to say, it is okay. You are good. He was walking in darshan in front of me. I had written a letter. And in that letter I wrote, Swami, I don't know what is going on, but whatever happens, Swami, I should always love you. Please make sure that I am always at your lotus feet. Nothing happens about that. I had written that letter and this song was still going on in my heart, very, very intensely. Swami just walked past me without even looking at me. I started crying. This line, புன்னகை வீசி ஆறுதல் கூற அருகில் வராததேனோ. Why will you not come smiling, looking back, come to me and console me? As that intense feeling came, Swami stopped at very distance and he turned around, walked back and stood in front of me. And he said, hey fellow, what are you doing here still? He asked. Go back to America, you have a lot of work to do, Swami said. And he sent me back with blessings. I will sign off by sharing one message about Manasa Bhaja Re. Many folks asked me, how did this started happening, this whole thing? As I said earlier, I was always in touch with the Vrindavan Bhajan group that I was part of. So I wanted to know everything that was happening. And one day, in the year 2000, when I was in a phone call, that boy was so excited. He said, Hari, Swami gave us white dress. I was so happy that they got white dress. In the same way, I was so jealous they got white dress. How dare you? That you gave white dress to them. I did not get white dress and I am here. Swami, please Swami, when I come to India next time, you have to give me white dress, Swami, because I am technically part of the bhajan group. So I have to get white dress. Then I put one additional condition. When I get white dress, they should not get again. It's only fair. So I went to Vrindavan a few months later and I was in Vrindavan, Swami's Trai Vrindavan campus, and in the middle of the day, around 2 o'clock, Swami's interview room door opened and he called all of us inside. About 7-8 of us were working around Swami's residence. He called all of us. And he spoke to all of us, and there was one other boy from Vrindavan Bhajan group. And we were all, Swami granted an interview, he was talking to us. He did not talk to me properly enough. I was very upset about that. And at the end of that interview, he gave a white dress to everybody. And then, on top of that, he also gave 500 rupees as tailoring charges, so that we can stitch it, get it stitched. And I came out of that interview room upset for 2 reasons. One, how come that fellow got second white dress? He already got 2 months ago. How come he got second white dress? And then I asked him, you must be lucky you got second white dress. And he said, Hari, what happened was, when I got the white dress, I had kept it in my house, but one night my house got burglarized and the thief even took that white dress. Bhagavan is simply replacing it. So that evening when I was going back home, I was still upset. How come Swami did not talk to me in that interview properly and so on? I was so upset. My friend told me in the car, you fellow, you should consider yourself so lucky. You come all the way from California
And Swami calls you for an interview, gives you white dress, on top of that he gives you 500 rupees as tailoring charge, and here you are sitting and complaining. He said, instead of being happy, I got upset at that remark. I said, who wants his 500 rupees? I will put another 500 and give him 1000 rupees back. I don't want his 500 rupees. Arrogance, ignorance. So the next day, I go back to Vrindavan, and the middle of the day, exactly at the same time, 2 o'clock, I was doing some work in front of Bhagavan's Trai Vrindavan residence, in front of the interview room. Suddenly the interview room door opened. There was nobody else except me. I was standing there, and Swami was holding his hand, and he slowly started walking down that ramp. And from that distance, he was intently looking at me. And he said with his eye, come. So I went running to him. Then with a smile, he just turned his hand and gave one 500 rupee note to me. That's all. I said, I will give you another 500 rupees. Here is the Lord, just to me, giving one 500 rupees, smiling, turn around, went back inside the interview room. I came back to the US, realized what that Lord had done. When Swami gives white dress, it means about time you start doing my work. And then I started praying. Bhaja means serve. I started praying, saying, Swami, who am I to serve you? If your work needs to get done in this planet, if your message needs to be spread, if people have to sing your glory, if people have to demonstrate what devotion is, for all of that there are highly qualified devotees, singers, musicians and orators across the world. The entire world is at your disposal, Swami. Who am I to serve you, Swami? But Swami, I have only one last prayer, Swami. One prayer. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I know that I am not capable of doing anything in this world. Who am I to do anything for you? By the sleight of the hand, you can transform this entire world. But Swami, in your grand, wonderful, glorious mission, let me also play a small role, Swami. Let me also be in one side little corner, doing something as an also ran case. Let me also do something, Swami. Let me also do. Please use me in any way, shape or form that you choose, Swami. A very intense prayer. Brothers and sisters, the Lord answered that prayer. As I continue to go around the world, it is not that I am required to convey certain feelings, I am required to convey certain stories. The feelings and the bhava and the stories and the connection that you are all destined to get from the Lord would happen in whether or not I stand here in front of you. This entire retreat is organized for the purpose of fulfilling my prayer, not for anything else. Out of selfish interest, I came here, and it is because of His grace I pray. I continue to pray till this day. Oh Lord, whatever happens, continue to use me in any way, shape or form you choose. Somehow keep me as a small part of your wonderful mission, oh Lord. Please, whatever mistakes I do, please forgive me. A bhajan very beautifully captures this. Aparad kshama karo, Sai Prabho, Jeevayatra mein saath raho. Be in this journey with me all the time, Bhagavan. Nij prema bhakti हमको दीजो. Give me the true love and devotion, Bhagavan. हृदय मंदिर में बस जाओ. Oh Lord, fill my heart with your presence. चरणामृत सेवा दीजो प्रभु. Give me an opportunity to serve your divine lotus feet, oh beloved Bhagavan. Constant prayer, because it is not enough to pray for this once. It has to be the undercurrent of our existence. This Lord can use anybody to achieve His mission. We have to beg and plead and request and cry constantly, oh Lord, please use me. Anat Bandho Sai Prabho.
अपराध क्षमा करो साई प्रभो, जीव यात्र में साथ रहो, निज प्रेम भक्ति हमको दीजो, हृदय मंदिर में बस जाओ, चरणामृत सेवा दीजो प्रभो, चरणामृत सेवा दीजो प्रभो, अनाथ बंधो साई प्रभो, अपराध क्षमा करो साई प्रभो, जीव यात्र में साथ रहो, निज प्रेम भक्ति हमको दीजो, हृदय मंदिर में बस जाओ, चरणामृत सेवा दीजो प्रभो, चरणामृत सेवा दीजो प्रभो, अनाथ बंधो साई प्रभो, अपराध क्षमा करो साई प्रभो। थैंक यू भगवान, जय साई राम।
ओम जय जगदीश हरे, स्वामी सत्य साई हरे, भक्तजना संरक्षक, भक्तजना संरक्षक, पति महेश्वरा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, शशि भगना श्रीकरा, सर्वा प्राणपते, स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते, आश्रित कल्पलतिका, आश्रित कल्पलतिका, आपद्बान्धवा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, माता-पिता गुरुदैवं पर्यन्तयो नीवे, स्वामी पर्यन्तयो नीवे, ज्ञान ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा, ज्ञान ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा, नागेन्द्राश्रयणा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, ओंकाररूप ओजस्वी ऊंचाई महादेवा, सत्य साई महादेवा, मंगल आरती अंतको, मंगल आरती अंतको, मंगल गिरिधारी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, नारायण नारायण ओम समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु शांति शांति शांति। जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय।